Hey, you guys, welcome to week one of the program. I'm so excited and hope you guys are too. I wanted to go over phase one protocols of the program just so you would know what to expect, give kind of an overview about what we'll be working on for this first little bit. Really, just some foundational behaviors. So, and then I'll also go over the master behavior tracking sheet a little bit. So by now, you should have gotten some time to kind of look over it yourself. If you scheduled your call with me this past week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, then we have gone over it. If you were not able to schedule in that time, then we will talk about it next week. Okay, so phase one protocols. So first, we'll learn how to fill out your behavior tracking Google form, the sheet I was just talking about. And that'll just be helpful because we will keep your goals on that behavior roadmap tab. Okay, so that's number one. We also want to work up to eating 3 meals a day following the plate design for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, plate design, that's going to be the PHFF that we have talked about, right? So, protein, healthy fats, and fiber. And I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Third, hydration, super important, right? So, typically, we say half of your body weight in ounces of water. For most people, we'll also do like 64 ounces for a few people, but that number will be whatever you and I determine when we talk at our weekly call. Daily steps, that will be another important one, a super foundational pillar that we want to work on. And again, you and I will determine that number when we have our little chat. We also really believe in strength training. So 3 times a week. Now, if you are already working with a personal trainer, then you just continue doing that. If you would like the programming that we have, you have that available to you. Everyone else will just follow with the programming with True Coach. So everybody should get set up with that early next week. Okay. So these are our foundational protocols, and we want to build up to these in 30 days. So you won't do all of these perfectly right off the bat, right? Like you probably won't do PHFF perfectly for every single meal while filling out your tracking form while hitting like 8,000 steps if that's your goal while strength training, right? So these are the protocols that we want to work up to having down within that 30-day period. So on your behavior sheet, let's see if this one is up. Here we go. On your sheets, don't get too overwhelmed by this. So I don't want you to have to track forever, right? But this part up here, these are going to be your target numbers just at the top, which you won't have to mess with those. I'll put some numbers in at some point. Down here, it says check-in details, check-in day Sunday. If yours says a different day, just all the check-ins are due Sunday. But I'll go through and try to make sure everyone's says Sunday. But if you look on the right, it says please remember to answer your check-in questions. So you are going to click on that link, and it is going to take you to your weekly progress form. So these will be due Sunday nights. So you will just fill out this little form. It'll ask you what were your goals this last week? How'd you do on them? What didn't go well? What do you want your goals for next week to be? So on and so forth. So you'll submit that. You can do it Friday, you can do it Saturday, you can do it Sunday, as long as you have it done by Sunday night. So you'll submit that. I will open up my Calendly availability. Saturdays or Sundays, but I will let you guys know as soon as I make my availability open for that next week. You might not get a slot for us to meet if they are all taken or if a time doesn't work for you. And if that happens, that's okay. You will receive your feedback from your progress form via email. So if you have a call with me, it'll probably either be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, or it could be Monday and Tuesday, it could be Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever my schedule is able to allow for that week. So if you have your call, those are the days. It'll probably be subject to change in the future. Subject to change in the future. But I'll let you guys know whenever that opens up every week. If you submit your progress form, but you're not able to book that that weekly call with me, or you just forget and you receive your feedback, you will receive your feedback by Wednesday nights. So if we have calls Mondays and Tuesdays, and you didn't schedule your call, you'll receive your feedback via email by Wednesday night. Okay, so back to the behavior sheet. So this is just kind of placeholder right here. Let's change this date to this week. Okay, and automatically changes the rest. Okay, so this is going to be your weekly average. So say I gave you some like homework to just track your food 3 days this week, right? So maybe one day you have you eat 90 grams of protein, another day you do 100, the next day you do 110. You're going to take those 3 days and average them. So whatever that average is for that 3 days, you're going to put it there. So that would be 100. Same with carbohydrates, same with fat, and then also fiber. So if you averaged like 17 grams a day, you would put that there. And it will automatically change this number for you because it'll calculate these together. Unless you have a glucose monitor on, a continuous glucose monitor, like the Very one, you won't do this morning glucose, evening glucose, blood pressure. If you want to order a CGM, then you can talk to me. I think it is super helpful to know how different foods affect your body, because the reality is we can work really hard to balance our blood sugar, which is a really, really big goal of this program, right? We want to balance our blood sugar, eat in that way because we want to do it for our energy, so we have stable energy levels, right? We want to do it to increase our metabolism, to have better sleep, to not hit that 2 p.m. crash in the middle of the day. And we want to do it to reduce our risk of chronic disease 10, 20, 30 years down the road, right? And so that's why we want to balance our blood sugar and try to reduce those insulin levels by balancing your blood sugar. But I could eat a handful of blueberries, just for example, and Sally could eat a handful of blueberries, and maybe Sally is fine, and then my blood sugar spikes up 30 points, and hers doesn't. That is when it is helpful to know how your blood sugar does respond with a glucose monitor, because without that, there's not really a way to know how your body specifically is being affected. But we also don't have to worry about that right now. That's just kind of an extra of like, hey, if a little bit down the road you really want to dive deeper and get into the nitty gritty and make sure that you are doing everything you can, then you can we can look into getting you a glucose monitor. So for now, don't worry about the morning and evening glucose or blood pressure. Okay. On your behavior roadmap tab, right here, you will see a few different things. Now, these are where your goals are going to go. So a few of you already have some goals filled in right here. So whether we did already put goals in there for you, whether we only put 3 of them, whether we haven't chatted yet and you don't have any, everyone is just going to start out with a couple goals to focus on going into the weekend. So even if you have all those filled out, we're going to pick 2 or 3 for you to prioritize for this next week and not focus on all of them. If we have not had a conversation yet this week, then I will be emailing you and asking you what 2 or 3 things you want to focus on for the upcoming week. With the goal being that everyone goes into the weekend knowing what they are focusing on. Okay, so a few of these will be different, but we've got steps. This is just a placeholder number. This number will be different for everybody. Personal development, that will be something different for most people. Meals a day, tracking water, training, sleep. But we're not going to focus on all of them at the same time. So even if we've already talked about this week, we're going to pick 2 or 3 for you to focus on. So don't get too overwhelmed at looking at this, because we want to take it bit by bit. But that's what that is. So this is like week 1. So like, say this is week 1 and you wanted to focus on, or your goal is 5,000 steps, and maybe the next week we move it to 550. That's kind of how this little chart works. Yeah. And then on the third tab, you've got your labs. Now, none of your labs are in this little tab yet. It'll probably be next week because not everyone's are back yet, but I will work on emailing everyone their lab reports from Quest so that you can look at those yourself. If you kind of look around on this, you've got spots for body composition pictures. If you want to take a pre-programmed picture, so you can you want to keep track of your medications, you can do that here. So that's your master behavior sheet. Okay, so as a recap, we're working on building up to the foundations. Let me go back to that PowerPoint. Let's see. Where's my Canva? Here it is. Okay. Okay, so the Google form, 3 meals a day, protein, fiber, healthy fat, hydration, daily steps, strength training. We're building up to that in 30 days. So this weekend, look out for that email about your 2 or 3 goals. And like I said, if we didn't chat this week, then I'll be asking what 2 or 3 goals you would like to focus on for this upcoming week. Everybody, remember to fill in your check-in form Sunday by Sunday night, and then I'll let you guys know when Calendly is open for y'all to schedule for next week. All right. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Go Vols. I hope you guys all watch the game on Saturday. If anyone's going to Athens, let me know how it goes. I will be watching it probably from my house. But have so much fun this weekend, and I will chat with you guys soon. Okay.